Well, show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why.
Tonight's flight has been a really good one. I started off with some grain spirit and added some tonic water and put it in a glass like this one. Grain spirit up to the top of the ribs and tonic water to the top. Following that, I have to remember what I did. Oh yeah, I had some Iwai, I think that's what it is, tradition Japanese whiskey, which was really nice, but it didn't have any edges to grab onto. It was very smooth. It was very, how would you say, alkaline. It just went right down smoothly. Following that, I went and had a dram of Glencadam 10, which I like. It's got very strong hints, not only hints, but notes of caramel. Very strong caramel notes. It was very good for a 40, I think it was 43%, and at 43% alcohol by volume. And then after that one, I went on to some Springbank 15, which is bottled at 46%. Oh, the Springbank 15 was very nice. It's got the edges that I like. It has some roughness to it, but that roughness is smooth, if that makes any sense. You know, the edges they're pointy instead of being rounded like that. If that makes any sense, I don't know. In my mind, things are the way they are, and I don't know how I can translate that to everyone else. Okay. After the Iwai and the, what did we have? The Glencadam 10 and the Springbank 15. I had another one of my favorites. It's the Glenglassaugh Revival. I love Glenglassaugh. It's just so, it's chewy. It's got a high ABV. It's got a lot of flavor. It's got a lot of toffee and a lot of caramel, and it's just lovely whiskey. I love this stuff. That was the Glenglassaugh, and that was bottled at, I don't know, 48% or something like that. If not, it's at least 46. Very good. Very, very good, very enjoyable. You can probably tell that I'm experiencing the effects of some of these potent liquids so far. and that's all right with me, because I'm in the state of mind where I'm between being sober and being drunk. I'm not anywhere near drunk, but I'm not anywhere near sober. So I'm just right. I got a buzz on. I'm feeling really good. Now, 3 years ago or so, my friend Mike at the government liquor store that I go to fairly often pointed me towards a Port Charlotte 11. And he wasn't even supposed to get that, but he had this in the store, and it was a travel value only thing that was available mostly in Europe. Port Charlotte 11. It was an 11-year-old peated Bruichladdich. And so I took his recommendation and said, yeah, right. And I bought it. And I tried it, and it was probably the most enjoyable whiskey experience that I'd ever had in my life. Now, what to my surprise, about a year later, I went to the Strathcona Hotel liquor store and found a bottle of Port Charlotte 10 which was bottled a year earlier than the 11, but it was a year younger. Anyway, as soon as I saw that, I bought that on the spot. Port Charlotte 10. Ah, oh, beautiful whiskey. It was as nice as the 11. Almost. So there was a while there for about a year, we couldn't get any Port Charlotte at all. There was Bruichladdich, but there was no Port Charlotte. And I was lamenting that I could not get any Port Charlotte 10 or 11 because I loved this stuff. It was fabulous. Well, for some reason, we got in some Bruichladdich Port Charlotte Scottish barley. And Scottish barley was what they had called the 11. And it used to say on the tin, I'm probably mispronouncing this really terribly, it was Eorna na Chalba. That means Scottish barley. But this was the Scottish barley without the H statement. It was just a Bruichladdich, or was a Port Charlotte Scottish barley without the H statement. It's good. It's very good. It's bottled at 50% alcohol by volume, and it's good. It's good. But this one here, and I'm sure that Bart from the Scotch Test Dummies will appreciate what I have here in front of me. This is the Port Charlotte 10 second limited edition. So I'd had the first limited edition about 2 years ago. This is the second limited edition of Port Charlotte 10. Age statement, my friends. It says a bunch of stuff on here. This is just a tin. I have not opened this yet. Okay, Port Charlotte single malts proudly carry the name of the Islay village that clings to the shore of Loch can't read that. Loch Indal, 2 miles south of Bruichladdich. Although elegant and floral, there are heavily peated whiskies evocative of the characteristic style of the old 19th century distillery that initially fell silent in 1929. Oh, yeah. Aged 10 years, heavily peated, single Islay malt. And there's a signature of Adam Hannett, Bruichladdich head distiller. Second limited edition. What does it say here? First fill, bourbon, sherry, something, and French oak casks. Oh my goodness, this is going to be special. This is like Campanella. 18,000 bottles only. Oh, one of 18,000. I wonder if they numbered them all individually. Port Charlotte, heavily peated, Islay single malt, Scotch whiskey, distilled, matured, bottled in, unchill filtered, and coloring free at Bruichladdich Distillery, Isle of Islay, Scotland, product of Scotland. Now there's a bunch of more stuff on here. 50% alcohol by volume. We like all of these things. Bruichladdich, Progressive Hebridean Distillers. Oh, there's a bunch of fine print here. Okay, Port Charlotte single malts are an enigma. While heavily peated, they also possess a surprising finesse, an elegant complexity created by men distilling at a slow trickle. This maximizes contact between spirit and copper still, cleansing our new make of medicinal notes while preserving a smoky Atlantic freshness. Oh, there's another block here. And it says, a decade spent slumbering in warehouses, standing proud in the salt-soaked environment of the Rins of Islay. That's spelled R-H-I-N-N-S. I've never seen that before. Now I'm sounding like Horst Leuning. Then subtly refines this powerful single malt. There is real depth of character. The smoldering heat of peat and dark fruit is balanced by floral top notes, a twist of citrus and mellow oak. Well, there you go. Those are all your tasting notes that you're ever going to need. And we're already 10 minutes and more into this before I've even opened the tube. Ha! Here we go. Ah! Well, that came off easily. And here's the bottle of Port Charlotte. Oh, okay. Oh, it's got one of these famous Bruichladdich plastic rings. That's going to stay in there. If I can get it in there. I don't know if I can get it back in. Aw, damn. Then you can't open the bottom, can you? I guess once the cat is out of the bag, you can't get her back in. Oh. This reminds me of putting tires on a wheel. Like, you know, you got a flat bicycle tire, and you gotta work it onto the wheel. Oh, it's back in there. That's neat. I think only Bruichladdich does that. Well, seeing as this is a bit of a celebration, I'm gonna make this video last a little longer than most of them. Haha. Okay. Here we are. The Port Charlotte 10 Second Limited Edition. Yes. I've been looking forward to opening you for a while now, and I have had you in my bar for almost 2 months. I'm going to go ahead with what it says on here, on the bill. It says Port Charlotte 10 in my own writing, because this is not an itemized bill. It says amount, what I paid for it, $149. You can subtract the amount of taxes, multiply 3 times 149 by 0.0479, something like that, and you subtract that from the 149, so it's about $125 to $130, plus about $122, $125, plus the tax makes $149. The tax, 10% liquor tax, 5% good and service tax. We are in British Columbia, we are in Canada. We are used to these exorbitant prices. If we live in other provinces like Alberta, it's cheaper. In the United States, I don't know. Curiously, I've seen whiskeys that I've bought here for $80. In the States, they were stickered at $150 or $160. Plus, of course, all kinds of taxes and stuff. And that was in Washington State. So Washington State's weird, you know. It'll say $30 and you end up paying $50. I don't know where that comes from, but that's just my impression. But still, there are some things in Washington State that I can't get here. Got that open quickly. and Islay. Okay. Now, oh, that was sublime how easily that came off. That was a looseish. That cork was on the loose side. Oh, there's the perfect dram right there. There is the perfect size dram. Okay, maybe I gave it a little bit much. Yeah, I used a dirty glass, so shoot me. Already by the nose, I can tell that this is infinitely better than your standard Scottish barley Port Charlotte. There is a hint, or should I say, there is quite a suggestion of fruit. I smell more fruit than anything right now. Okay, there's some peat, yes, but with the peat there is fruit. The fruit is like red fruits, like berries, plums. I'm getting a lot of berries and plums. The peat is there, but it's not the kind of peat that just knocks you in the face and breaks your nose. The peat is more subtle. It's there, yes, but it seems to be balanced with the fruit, and the fruit is in the vicinity of berries. Yeah, berries and plums. I'm not getting too much dark. Well, since this is unchill filtered and uncolored, you can see that there is some kind of a sherry. Oh, it said a bunch of stuff on there, didn't it? It said a bunch of stuff on the box about different kinds of sherry. Oh man. What did it say? It says, first fill bourbon, sherry, Tempranillo, and French wine casks. Okay, so there's a lot of cask action happening here. And this is why the peat and the smoke don't completely pull you over and knock you down on your ass. There's a complexity, even in the nose. It's, there's fruits. There's a balance between the fruits. This is like a distiller's edition. Fruits. Peat, yes, but not overpowering peat. There might be some stuff that's a lot older than 10 years in this Port Charlotte 10. It seemed to me that for quite a long time, you'd have, on one side, you'd have the peat camp, the Islay peat, and on the other side, you'd have the sherry camp, which would be like from Speyside. But this seems to combine the two. It combines the peat, and the peat is not overpowering, it's subtle. And the sherry berry flavors, berry notes in the nose, fruits like plums, yes. Not too many dark fruits. I'm not getting a lot of, well, maybe a little fig and date, but it's really in the background. That's on the nose. I don't know about the flavor. But this has a beautiful nose. It's got peat and it's got fruits and it's just delicious just smelling it. I could do this all day, or in my case all night, seeing as it is 2:38 a.m. Yeah, I started my flight at 10:30? So I've been at this for 4 hours on my flight. And this one may end the flight completely. I mean, I've been going 20 minutes already. Oh, I'm bad. I should taste this soon, shouldn't I? But I'm still in that state of mind between sober and drunk, and I don't want to get drunk. I don't like being drunk. It's not comfortable. Let me just keep myself hydrated here. This is 50%. I may end up adding a little bit of water to this, but the nose doesn't seem harsh at all, so I don't think it will taste harsh either. The people at Bruichladdich know what they're doing, after all. Oh, that is fine mouthwash. I am getting a perfect marriage of peat and fruit. Perfect. It's like berries, raspberry jam, strawberries, and plums in a beautiful cocktail. And then at the same time, excuse me, at the same time as I'm getting this berry plum explosion in my mouth, there is the peat smoke, which is not overpowering, but it's balanced. I seem to be getting very well balanced whiskeys lately, and this one is no exception. You get the same peat from the Port Charlotte Scottish barley, but it's balanced with this fruit that I don't remember experiencing with the first limited edition. And this is the second limited edition. The first limited edition didn't have as much fruit on it as I recall, but it has been almost 2 years since I tasted that. Had I kept even if I'd kept a little bit, it would have oxidized, and it wouldn't have been the same level of oxidation as this one, which is nearly full. Now, had I had the foresight to buy 2 bottles, but no, I would have consumed it by now. I'll suffice it to say that this has a lot more sherry and French oak too, but interestingly enough, that they used sherry casks and they used French oak, and what was that other one? I don't even remember. Yeah, it's got the same writing on here. Oh, it's tiny. It's tiny. Tempranillo, something like that. The previous 10-year-old expression of Port Charlotte did not have that sherry and wine and French oak maturation that this one has. Oh, this is top quality. It is smooth. It has just enough rough edges to make it interesting. There's a tingle in my mouth, and it's mouth-watering. And it's hard to beat this one. This is, I think, for me, up in the category with the Lefroy Triple Wood. The Lefroy Triple Wood, if I recall my memory, my memory's not perfect, but the Lefroy Triple Wood has more peat and has more sherry, and it's just as well balanced as this one. But this is right up there with the Lefroy Triple Wood. It's awesome. It is awesome. And the Lefroy Glore is somewhere in that category too. Because if you look at my bottle, how much it's gone down since I started it like a couple months ago, it's damn good. This is wonderful, wonderful stuff. I hope the people at Bruichladdich keep on making this kind of thing and try experimenting some more with different casks to add to their peated single malt, because as far as the Scotch experience goes, this is one of those that's right up there at the top. It can't be beat. Not easily anyway. You've got the same kind of sherry and French casks that you might have in a space. Well, no, it's unique because of the French casks. You've got some of that Speyside. You've got some of that French cask. Like the Glenmorangie Nectar d'Or that was bottled in Limousin casks. And then you have also the Scottish, the peat from Islay. All of these elements are balanced perfectly, such that you get the full experience. There are so many whiskeys that give you a one-dimensional experience in this direction, or a one-dimensional experience in that direction, or this way, a one-dimensional experience, but this one combines all of them and just puts it together and makes for a fabulous dram. Oh, this is a great big slanchama.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food quick.
Yeah.